another round of extreme heat. Chris Reese will have the latest on what we need to know. And the man accused of driving an SUV into Waukesha's Christmas parade wants to move his trial out of the county. We'll have the very latest on his court case. This is News 3 Now at noon. Good afternoon. Thanks for tuning in. We'll have another pair of alert days in the forecast as the extreme heat has returned. Let's head over to the Weather Center meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your certified most accurate forecast.
You know, extreme heat returning almost feels like an understatement out there, but yes, it is hot and it is going to continue to get hot. Temperatures today will continue to warm up into the low 90s, so do indeed take that splash if you have the opportunity to do so. Let's look at where we're at right now. Look at it, 86 degrees. Dew points have come up because dew points this morning really kind of felt good. They were into the low 50s. Now dew points are into the middle 60s. So we are now at this point where, yes, the clothes are sticking to you and it really begins to feel uncomfortable. I mean, already we're talking about the fact that it feels like it's in the 90s with dew points into the mid 60s and temperatures at 86. Janesville is at 90. It's 92 in La Crosse, 89 in Boscobel, 88 in Lone Rock, Camp Douglas at 88, Wautoma coming in at 89. Now, Doppler track is quiet. We're going to stay quiet for much of this week. Our odds of seeing a ton of shower and thunderstorm activity do stay on the lower side. Let's look ahead the next couple of hours, and we're going to see those temperatures pushing into the low 90s mark.
Just like Houston.
It is just like Houston.
You should be used to this.
Some of those dew points that I'm looking at into tomorrow, earlier during the morning show, I was looking at some of the model data, and I had like a visible reaction and kind of gagged a little bit. And Chris and Leah said, "Chris, what's wrong with you over there?" And I said, "Nothing. I just saw the dew point forecast for tomorrow."
That's never a good sign.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about that coming up in just a bit.
All right, we'll see then. Thank you. We're following some breaking news at this hour as officials say a car crashed into a building on Williamson Street. The crash happened around 11 o'clock this morning as closed traffic on Willie Street between Beerley and Ingersoll Streets. Dane County Dispatch says there has been no word on injuries yet, but the store owner says she was inside at the time of the crash and was thrown across the store. There's no estimate on when traffic will reopen. We'll have more details on this story as it develops at channel3000.com. New at noon, President Biden says he could make a decision by the end of the week on pausing the federal gas tax. This comes as the national average for regular gas has dipped back below $5 per gallon at $4.98. In Wisconsin, we're averaging $4.84 per gallon, with prices lower here in Dane County. Governor Tony Evers called on the federal government to suspend its gas tax last month, saying it was a national issue that needed to be addressed at that level. The federal gas tax adds about 18 cents per gallon to the cost at the pump. Many people had trouble getting home over the weekend, with thousands stranded at airports across the country due to staffing issues for airlines. Elise Preston has more on how the airlines are responding.
Understaffed airports and airlines are being slammed, and it's taking a toll on travelers.
At this point, I don't have any high hopes.
We're talking 10 hours.
More than 900 flights were canceled on Sunday alone. Delta getting hit the hardest with more than 200 cancellations. Delta apologized, saying in a statement a variety of factors continue to impact our operations, including challenges with air traffic control, weather, and unscheduled absences. Canceling a flight is always our last resort. Since the start of June, U.S. airports have seen an average of 2.2 million flyers every day.
They didn't tell them why it was canceled, but they canceled everybody's flight.
The industry has been struggling, receiving tens of billions in federal aid since the start of the pandemic. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg met with airline executives right before the weekend, telling them to stick to their flight schedules and to hire more customer service agents, giving them until the 4th of July weekend to do better or face potential fines. CBS News senior travel advisor Peter Greenberg.
You can hire as many customer service agents as you want to say, "I'm sorry," but if you don't fix the root problems, the apologies will continue. You got to be able to find pilots. There's a shortage. You have to be able to find people who work under the wing, ground handlers, baggage loaders.
Until staffing increases as a whole, Greenberg expects more disruptions through September.
After that meeting with airline executives, Secretary Buttigieg had his own flight canceled and had to drive from Washington, D.C. to New York. Some tips to keep in mind for your own air travel: try to book the first flight out and arrive at least 3 hours early. Elise Preston, CBS News, Newark International Airport.
And happening today, the man accused of killing and injuring dozens during a Christmas parade in Waukesha last year will ask to have his trial moved out of the county. Darrell Brooks has a motion hearing today ahead of his trial in October. Now, back in November, he drove his SUV through the parade downtown in Waukesha. In April, the judge denied a motion to move the date of the trial back. Today's motion will be an attempt to move the trial out of Waukesha County or bring in a jury from a different county. Madison police say they've arrested 2 people last night after a fight at a park. Officers were called to Demetrio Park just before 6:15 last night when the fight broke out at a gathering of several families. Police say several people reportedly pulled out guns during the fight, but nobody was shot. Officers took 2 of the guns and arrested 2 men in connection to weapons violations. Police say nobody was injured. Police say they've arrested 4 people after a Chinese PhD student at UW-Madison was attacked last week. Madison police say the incident took place at around 10:15 Tuesday night when the student was walking alone on West Gilman Street. Authorities believe the 4 men punched the student to the ground, then continued to beat him. The suspects did not take anything from the student and didn't say anything while attacking him. This incident appears to be similar to several others that happened near downtown recently. Police believe these 4 suspects could be linked to all of them. There's more to come on News Street Now at noon, including the latest on COVID vaccines for America's youngest kids. We'll have that and today's top business stories coming up.
What does your retirement future look like? With a well-built retirement, your future can look bright. Your financial home secure. Retirements are built here every day. Call now and start building yours.
This summer, if you're in the market for a high-quality, affordable windows that add instant curb appeal, call the company your neighbors trust. Mad City Windows, Wisconsin's #1 remodeler. Our high-performance windows feature sky mirror technology and layers of low E to help save energy dollars. Now's the time to act during our 60-60-60 sale. Receive 60% off installation of new windows for your home, 60 months 0 interest, senior military discounts, and a $60 Walmart gift card with your free in-home estimate. Plus a bonus. Call during this program and receive $250 in Mad City cash towards your future home improvements. From Madison and South Central Wisconsin, call 608-338-1616. Here's that number again, 608-338-1616.
When we needed new doors and windows for our home, we were looking for someone we could trust.
We've done the bargain brand windows.
What we loved about Next Door and Window is that they were different.
We really loved their educational approach.
Call 844-600-NEXT, 50% off your installation.
I'm Alex Lasry, a Democrat running to beat Senator Ron Johnson.
And I'm Lauren Lasry, and this is our daughter Eleanor. I know Alex will always fight for working families.
To get more money in the pockets of working people and lower costs.
By making paid leave available and healthcare more affordable.
And I'll always be a relentless supporter of a woman's right to choose.
Especially now. Alex is exactly the kind of ally Tammy Baldwin needs in the Senate.
So I approve this message because we have to do better than having Ron Johnson as our senator.
Nebraska is kind of like that odd kid. Didn't say much in school. Slightly peculiar, maybe. But when we took the time to get to know him, turned out he was pretty interesting. We know some people won't take the time, but if you're someone who will, odds are you're gonna like it here. Nebraska. Honestly, it's not for everyone.
Time is of the essence when planning for retirement. So take the time now to make sure yours is well built. Retirements are built here every day. Retirement Income Planning, LLC.
Because the 19th fell on a Sunday, the nation will observe Juneteenth today. U.S. financial markets are closed, as are most schools and government agencies. Post offices will also be closed, and there will be no mail deliveries. This weekend, workers at a Maryland Apple store voted to join a union. They're the tech giant's first retail employees to do so. The final vote was 65 in favor of unionizing, with 33 opposed, a nearly 2-to-1 margin. It was a busy weekend for SpaceX. The company carried out 3 successful satellite launches in 3 days. The first blast-off happened Friday at the Kennedy Space Center. The next day, a Falcon 9 rocket carried a German satellite into orbit from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. On Sunday, another Falcon 9 took off from Cape Canaveral with a Globalstar satellite on board. The 3 launches took place within 37 hours of each other. That is your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Wendy Gillette.
And as Wendy said, the stock market closed today to observe the new federal holiday of Juneteenth. Markets will look to rally tomorrow after more losses to end last week. The smallest children in the U.S. can start receiving COVID-19 vaccines this week. The CDC announced their decision to approve the vaccines for kids ages 5 and under over the weekend. Millions of doses are now being shipped to doctors, hospitals, and community health clinics across the country. Children between the ages of 5 and 11 have been eligible since November, but the CDC says the less than 30% of them are fully vaccinated. We'll have more on what local doctors are saying about the youngest kids getting vaccines in our evening newscasts. And there's plenty of sun out there today as temperatures could reach the mid-90s over the next day or so. Chris is in next with a closer look at this dangerous heat.
All of that dust and pollen can really do a number on your allergies. If your old windows are letting the outside in, then you need Eco Sky windows exclusively from Mad City Windows, and 114% more airtight than your average vinyl windows.
We got to pick out the options right then and there, but they were flexible. If we wanted to change later, we still could.
Now's the time to act during our 60-60-60 sale. Receive 60% off installation of new windows, 60 months, 0 interest, senior and military discounts, and a $60 Walmart gift card with your in-home estimate, plus a bonus. Call during this program and receive $250 in Mad City cash towards future home improvements. From Madison and South Central Wisconsin, call 608-338-1616. Here's that number again, 608-338-1616.
Inflation is a tax hitting Wisconsin families and businesses, especially at the pump. But the Biden administration cut American energy production.
These are their policies. They want to drive up the price of fossil fuel. They want to drive up the price of energy. So apparently we use less of it.
Senator Ron Johnson is fighting to restore American energy independence. Johnson helped write legislation to finish the Keystone Pipeline, expand U.S. oil production, and promote natural gas. Tell Senator Johnson, keep fighting for American energy independence.
This is Connie Ryan of Ryan Funeral Homes. While things have changed, it's still necessary for families to stay connected. And when it comes to the loss of a loved one, it's important to process and grieve and honor your loved one in a way that keeps everyone safe. We're doing this through intimate services and private virtual streaming so your family can be part of the service no matter where they are. Ryan Funeral Homes are here with your safety in mind and compassionate care in your time of need.
News 3 Now, First Warn Weather. Before.
Alert days are in the forecast for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Madison, Janesville, Beloit, Portage, Baraboo, the Dells. This is when you really need to begin to watch the eye to the sky.
During.
We have a confirmed tornado on the ground.
This is a serious situation. You need to take shelter immediately.
And after the storms.
You can see some of the damage here behind me this morning.
Get severe weather coverage from Madison's certified most accurate team. News 3 Now, First Warn Weather.
The Farm Report is sponsored by Blaine's Farm and Fleet.
Welcome back. Penn is out of the radio barn this afternoon, I guess, and the egg markets are closed to observe Juneteenth. A company in Silicon Valley believes the future of solar energy is clear. The next generation of solar panels may not be something you have to add to your roof. John Ramos explains.
At the headquarters of Ubiquitous Energy near San Francisco, the familiar black solar panels on the roof are pretty obvious. But the lights in the company conference room are being powered by the windows, which are also acting as solar collectors.
And so that's kind of the problem we sought out to solve with our technology, is how can you make a solar technology that's completely invisible, and by making it invisible, now we can apply it to many more surfaces.
Co-founder Miles Barr says his company has invented an invisible coating using photosensitive dyes that capture energy from only the non-visible infrared and ultraviolet spectrums, turning windows into see-through solar panels.
So you can use the full surface, the full vertical surface of a glass skyscraper to generate electricity that can be used by the building.
Other companies are working on similar technology. Next Energy just released a prototype window with a transparent coating that can harness solar energy. Ubiquitous already has its windows on several buildings, and the company is now gearing up for full-scale production in 2024.
We're talking about you're buying a window, and now do you want to pay a little bit more so that your window produces electricity as well?
Ubiquitous CEO Susan Stone says there may be more uses down the road. Theoretically, the same coating could be applied to any hard or painted surface, allowing electronic devices and even parked cars to charge themselves.
If builders start using the windows, the energy possibilities could be staggering. Every year, more than 200 billion square feet of glass is installed worldwide, enough to circle the Earth 100 times. John Ramos, CBS News, San Francisco.
All right, I think we're all going to need those shades for the next couple of days, Chris.
Lots of sunshine indeed, and maybe staying in the shade, where it's all about finding ways to stay cool right now, because we do have an alert day in the forecast for today, another alert day in that forecast for tomorrow, and it is all about the heat and humidity. And I'm going to hit you with this twice in this one weathercast in two different ways, but we're breaking down the ways that you can beat the heat. That includes light clothing, and I want to take a moment to pause here, because every summer when we get this hot, people are like, why are you wearing a sweater vest? This is much lighter and a whole lot loose fitting compared to the suit. It is breathable and it's much more comfortable to wear when it is hot outside. Find those cool spots, limit time outdoors. If you need to maintenance your AC, do it, but also hydrate, drink plenty of water as we go through the next couple of days, and play in it as well. If you're going to be out at the pool today, thankfully no thunderstorms. We are looking at sunshine all day long as those temperatures ultimately top out around 92 later on this afternoon. This morning, dew points were into the mid-50s, right around 60. Wasn't terrible. Dew points have taken a rise. Already, we're into the mid-60s and approaching 70, and those dew points are going to be going all the way up towards the upper 70s as we move through the rest of today and into tomorrow. So it does get humid. 66 to dew point for us in Madison, but you see where those dew points are into the 70s just to our north and west. And watch how dew points continue to increase into the 70s for all of us throughout this afternoon. Now I want to show you what happens towards tomorrow afternoon. Dew points into the mid and upper 70s, approaching 80. I mean, this is a Florida type of humidity that we're going to be seeing up here in Wisconsin, in addition to those temperatures that are going to be incredibly hot for this time of the year. 86 right now, dew points at 66 for us here in Madison, so it feels like the 90s. Actual air temperatures are going to be topping out into the low 90s. We'll see them slide back down into the 70s overnight tonight. Tomorrow, we're going to warm things right back up to about 96. Some of you are going to make it up towards 97. Again, that's air temperature, not even factoring in the humidity. A cool front will come through tomorrow night. We'll be at 69 by the time we start to move into your Wednesday. But look at this. This is the heat index later on. Still up around 100, but the heat index tomorrow, this is 11:30 tomorrow, already feeling like 100. And when we'll reach times tomorrow afternoon, we'll start to feel like 105 to 107. And again, this is what it feels like in the shade. So when you're out in the sun, it feels a whole lot hotter as you are out and about. So that being said, I want to rehash this. The light colored and loose fitting clothing, it's going to be important, but I also want to let you know to avoid the alcohol and the caffeine. Those actually make you hotter. Water is going to be best. And again, check on pets and check the back seat. Here's why. When temperatures are around 90, within 30 minutes, your car is well over 120 degrees. Within an hour, over 130. 30 degrees. And the forecast high for tomorrow is 96. That means we get hotter and faster in the car. Here's the other thing I want you to keep in mind. Know the difference between heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Heat exhaustion is one where you can get into an air-conditioned room and drink some water and you're going to be fine. Heat stroke, though, that is a medical emergency and you will need to call 911 in that sense. There is a difference between the two, and one is much more serious than the other. I know I've got to go forward with the weather here. This is on our website, channel3000.com, and if you have the First Warn Weather app, there's a video breaking this down for you as well. So it's at your fingertips, not just here on TV. You can get that information. But today is the alert day. Tomorrow's the alert day as well. We're cooler into the mid and upper 80s as we start to round out this week. Another 90 is going to be possible by Friday.
All right, hang in there, be careful.
That's the best we can do.
All right, thank you, Chris. Howard's in the Mr. Food test kitchen now with a lesson about pickles.
Have you ever been at the market or stopped by a roadside stand and noticed what looks like mini cucumbers? You know, the ones that are about 2 to 3 inches long and the skin is a bit paler than regular cukes? If you have, those are commonly known as Kirby's or pickling cukes. Now, we're seeing more and more of them as they come into their peak season. So let me show you what you can do with them. We can use them like any other cucumbers in our salads, but where they really stand out is when we pickle them. And no, we don't need any special equipment. All we do is combine some water, white vinegar, a touch of sugar, and salt, and bring it to a boil. Once the sugar dissolves, we pour this over some Kirby's that we cut in half, along with some fresh garlic and dill. And as you can see, we made these right in canning jars, but you could also make them in a basic glass bowl. Maybe throw in a few jalapeno slices to make them spicier if you want. Let me tell you, these are way better than any store-bought pickles since they're made with TLC. And whether you serve them with your grill favorites or just sneak one out of the fridge, you can't go wrong. So don't dilly-dally. Go online and get the recipe for our half-sour dill pickles, so you'll have it on hand the next time you pick some of these up. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a crispy and juicy way for you to say, "Oh, it's so good."
At noon, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company's here answering your plant and garden questions. The number to call 608-270-9933. We'll get you your calls right after this.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
For high-performance windows that block outside noise, call Mad City, your home for exclusive Eco Sky windows featuring Sky Mirror technology and built-in weather barriers. And be sure to ask about the grid designs inside the glass for easy cleaning. Check us out at madcitywindows.com. Your friends and neighbors are calling in. Don't you miss out. Call now during our 60-60-60 sale. Receive 60% off installation of new windows, 60 months, 0 interest, senior and military discounts, and a $60 Walmart gift card with your free in-home estimate, plus a bonus. Last chance in this program to call to receive $250 in Mad City cash towards future home improvements. From Madison and South Central Wisconsin, call 608-338-1616. Here's that number again, 608-338-1616.
Most senators couldn't tell you the cost of a gallon of milk. Thanks, Ruben. Or how much beef has gone up this year. But I'm not like most senators or any of the other millionaires running for Senate. My mom was a teacher and my dad worked third shift. I know how hard you work. And I know that by bringing manufacturing home, we create jobs and we lower costs. If we want to change Washington, we got to change the people we send there. I'm Mandela Barnes and I approve this message.
Do you suffer from chronic or severe back or neck pain? Did you know that there is now a treatment method available right here at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center that offers hope of avoiding spinal surgery for those suffering with bulging, herniated, or degenerative discs? Our therapies help reduce pain related to these conditions and have a high success rate in helping people just like you avoid back or neck surgery.
I've experienced low back pain for over 15 years. I had back surgery when I was 26 and had difficulties recovering. The doctors at Midwest Spine and Nerve Center have given me a new lease on life. I am now able to enjoy an active, pain-free lifestyle.
Call Midwest Spine and Nerve Center now to schedule a no-obligation consultation to see if our progressive pain-relieving therapies are right for you.
Lisa Briggs from the Brew Company's here taking your questions at 270-9933. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Nice plants
A
here.
stilby. They're going to start blooming soon. I really like them.
Perennials?
Good for perennials. Good for shady morning sun locations.
Okay. Not like mine.
Not like yours.
All right, let's go to the phones, and we will start with Rick from Madison. Hi, Rick. What's your question?
I'm rearranging my yard a bit, and I have some Asiatic lilies that are flowering now, and I'm just wondering, or assuming that this is probably a bad time to transplant them. I'm wondering when I can safely do that.
Nothing does like to be transplanted when it's flowering, so you want to wait till that's done, and then you can cut the flowers back. I would tend to move them in the fall. A lot of people do a fall planting of Asiatic lilies and orientals as well. You can also do it early in the spring. I'd kind of hang out for fall and do it then.
Okay.
After the flowers are done.
All right, Steve in Madison. Hi, what's your question?
Yes, I have some 4-year-old daylilies that didn't bloom this year. And I was wondering why, and if I cut them down, will they come back up?
Well, I think things are still slow this year from that cold weather. I know we've had some heat, but the ones at the Bruce Company are just starting to flower, and the ones at my house are barely sending flower stems up.
Same here.
I think it's just too soon, and I think everybody has to just be patient this year with some things. So I wouldn't cut them down. I would let them flower or not, if for some reason they don't this year, but let the foliage stay, because if you cut the foliage down, you're not going to store energy for next year's flowers. So just leave them go.
Patience.
Be patient.
Patience. All right. Paul, Sun Prairie. Hi, you're up. Go ahead.
Hi. I have an invasion of bishop's weed, the dark, with the dark green leaves, not the variegated.
Okay.
How can I get rid of it?
You're going to need to use a pretty heavy chemical to get rid of that stuff. I would use like the extra extended control Roundup or something like that along those lines. You're going to want to spray when it's still. You're going to want to protect other things from the spray, from drift, and you're probably going to need to spray more than once, probably a couple of times.
Okay. Let's get to Carol in Middleton. Hi, Carol.
Hi, I've got a couple of yellow peonies that had beautiful blossoms on them. I've since, they've since gone away, but I've got all these seed pods, and I'm wondering how I can start more plants with the seed pods, if that's possible.
Most of the newer peonies, especially the Ito, which are the yellow ones, are a cross between a tree peony and an herbaceous peony. They are hybridized, and so they don't always come true from seed. And actually letting your peonies go to seed takes a lot of energy out of the plant that you would much rather have it go into the root system to develop strength for more flowers next year. The way to divide peonies is to actually physically divide them. So in September, you can, if your plant is big, you can pull it up and then divide it.
Okay. We're out of time. If you're on the line, stay there. Lisa, we'll talk to you off the air.
Yep.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
See you on Wednesday at 4, right?
Yes.
All right. Here's one final check of your forecast.
Yeah, of course, it is all about the heat. We're going to feel that as we move throughout the rest of this afternoon and tomorrow. 92 today, 96 tomorrow. The heat index will feel like 105 to 107. And again, that's in the shade. 85 by Wednesday. Another 90-degree day on Friday. We'll be more comfortable next week with lower humidity as well.
That is Florida weather.
Yes, it is, without the rain.
Without the rain. All right, Chris, thank you. Thank you all for watching and calling. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. Stay cool.